Starting here shortly. Welcome once again to Magical Money Manifestation. I'm your host, Psychic Medium Tarot and Oracle Card Reader Valorie Lewis. We do this every Monday. Thank you so much. There's a big crowd joining us live today. If you ever missed a live, you can always catch the replay on YouTube. If for some reason you forget the link and you can't get into the live, you can always watch on YouTube because it is simulcast live broadcast over to YouTube. And I believe Jacqueline has already put that in the chat. I'm pretty sure. Yes, my YouTube channel. All right. So as I was saying, eclipse energy. Holy, holy. Chaos. It's chaos energy faux sure. I happen to embrace chaos energy a long time ago. I say a long time ago. It's probably been 3 or 4 years when I first started researching witches and what it meant to be a witch and different types of witches. There was this whole long list of witches. And I remember I came to a witch called a chaos witch. And before I even read the description, I was like, yep, sign me up. That's me. So I love this chaos energy. It is unsettling. It does knock me on my ass, but what comes from it on the other side of it has been so life-shifting that it's like, okay, I'm willing to go through it. I'm willing to go through it to get to the other side. All right. So put it over in chat. If you've been feeling chaos energy, if you know what I'm talking about, how it's been showing up for you, I would love to hear and see that over in the chat if you feel like sharing. Even put it over there if you have no idea and this is the first time you've ever heard of eclipse chaos energy. So traditionally in these events, I start with tarot. We do a tarot card reading for the collective. Then we do oracle cards for the collective. Then I choose select audience members to receive just a one card tarot reading for the week ahead. And then we do an energy activation. I never know what the energy activation is going to be until we get into the card reading and I kind of get a feel for the vibe and where spirit wants to direct us. So that energy activation has been like a minute or two tops. So never heard of it, but sounds like my entire life, someone said about eclipse energy. So that's how today's event will run. I do pull on the collective, and the collective meaning those who are collected here live on this call and watching on YouTube first and foremost. So go ahead and put your request out to the universe if you're seeking clarity, direction, guidance, whatever you're looking for from today's reading, go ahead and gently offer that to the universe. I will pick up on those energies first and foremost, and then also the greater collective to see how we fit in and how we can match up with what's going on globally. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. We're still letting a few people into the room. And then once you've put all your ask, wishes, dreams, supplications out to the universe, gently switch over into the receiving mode. You cannot ask and receive at the same time. So do your asking and then switch into allowing receiving. It can be as simple as you saying, universe, spirit guides, God, whoever you consider your higher power, I'm ready. Send me what I need to know in this moment. Give me just a moment here. Okay, so as I said, I traditionally start out with tarot cards. Let's get into the reading. So I tap into you all's energy, but this time I am using a friend's decks. As you might notice, I'm not at my home surroundings, so I'm using borrowed decks. And I pulled a card this morning as I was just flipping through the decks to see which ones I like. And this one is just so relevant that I'm going to share an oracle card first, and then we'll do tarot cards. So let me just do this. Okay. This is from the deck, the Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine is receiving mode. And I probably will mispronounce this particular deity's name, but I'm going to show it. Machig Labdron. That's how I'm going to say it once. And I'm not going to say it again. I'm going to refer to her as ML. And her, what would you call it? Affirmation says, I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. And the reason why I wanted to see more about this is because the light in the darkness for me is very much chaos energy. Oftentimes during eclipses, I mean, total darkness, during or partial darkness, during eclipses, it does feel like we're in the darkness trying to find our place or trying to find our way out or trying to find our way back to the light. Sometimes that's how eclipse energy, chaos energy can show up. So I thought this was very fitting. And I really liked how she describes this energy. So I'll just read from the Oracle card deck for this one. From her perspective as an enlightened female, she knew that the difference between a god and a demon had to do with our reaction to them. Those who cause us pain, she explained, also teach us patience, whereas those who bring gifts can distract us from our spiritual path. No one and no single situation has the power to derail us. That is, unless we let it. The power rests within us. The spiritual path for Ma Chig was to become intimate with her inner demons, those thoughts or beliefs that kept her from experiencing joy, bliss, and pure love. Let me go back a little bit to describe how she describes demons because I thought it was so fitting. One moment. A demon, according to Machig, is anything that obstructs the achievement of freedom. So think about that for a minute. Whether or not you agree with her definition, just think about what things in your life obstruct your ability to achieve freedom. Demons, then, are ego beliefs, not scary, hairy beasts, but inner barriers that keep us from realizing the true nature of reality. So let me go back to the meaning. The darkness within us isn't actually dark. It often feels threatening because some aspect of our intuition knows that when we face it, we will reclaim a lost part of our soul. We will heal. We will become more whole, and that, ironically, can be terrifying. We get so used to functioning with only one wing. We wonder, how can I fly now with two? I'll go too far, too high. Who will I become now that I'm free? And who will I lose in the elevation of my soul? Machig is here to support us in seeing what's ready to come to consciousness. She's here with her diamond heart to hold us as we feed one of our demons, not with fear, but with the knowledge that bringing it to life and into the light will help set us free. So I love that idea of figuring out where our inner demons are, not fighting against them, not trying to box them or banish them or exorcise them, but trying to get to know them so that we can benefit from them, so that we can become more whole. And that part that she said, where it sometimes is she didn't say it this way, but it sometimes is dysregulating to call in that wholeness, because as humans we're so used to functioning without being whole in our day-to-day life that the idea of adding something to us is kind of like, what, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this feeling of feeling more myself. So that resonated too. So hopefully that message gives you something to think about as we go into today's reading. One of the questions you can ask yourself is there an ego belief that I am ready to see and release within me? And an intention that you can set based upon this card is, I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. So I love that. All right. That was the Divine Feminine. Being, oh, there's a lot of comments over there about people feeling these eclipse energies in different ways. The one about feeling drained Yes, I just went to another mystics. I don't know why I'm calling her a mystic, but I feel like she's a mystic. Her forecast for the entire month and that idea of rest, rest, rest for this week, or it was last week, but that idea of resting, resting, and resting for last week resonated with me. So if you didn't get rest last week, that's probably pouring over into this week. And the I think the reason why we were encouraged to rest last week is specifically because we had the eclipse this weekend. And spirit knows it was about to shake us up. So it's like, get your rest because you got work to do. Because we're about to shake some things up for you. All right, so let's move into tarot. The tarot I'm going with is one I have never read from before and probably not one I would pick on my own, but it's Chris Ann's The Tarot of Curious Creatures. And as I was flipping through this deck, I thought to myself, this looks pretty chaotic. And I almost didn't read from it. I put it down and then I thought to myself, maybe a bit of chaos is what we need in our reading today. Maybe reading from this deck will help us make sense of some of the things that we've been feeling collectively. So, hey, that was you. Rocio's here. Rocio is the mystic. Rocio is the mystic that gave that amazing month ahead prediction for September. If y'all missed it, y'all missed a good one. Um, Rocio just put over in chat that that was her. Okay, so I'm pulling cards. I've got three. I've got a reversal. Y'all know reversals are significant for me. I don't often read them that way. Let's see what this one is. So first up is the Knight of Wands. I think I'm going to have to change my camera because I don't think you're going to be able to see. What did I do? It keeps blurring my cards. There we go. The Knight of Wands. Y'all see what I mean? Chaotic. What is happening? What is happening? The Knight of Wands, though. Knights are the actionaries. So it's a Monday. And after I just said we were supposed to rest last week, the first card we pulled this is Spirit saying, I need y'all to move into action. So no wonder we were supposed to rest last week. So if you didn't get your rest not last week, don't fear. Just tell Spirit, your guides, whoever, your family members, I'm gonna need some extra sleep. Maybe go to bed a little early, sleep in a little bit, take a midday nap, do something so that you can feel refreshed. Otherwise, you will probably feel drained throughout the duration of this eclipse season because it'll just keep coming at you without you giving your body proper time to rest and integrate these energies. Just my suggestions. You know, you do what you want. Uh, the Knight of Wands, though. So the Knight is moving us into action or asking us to move into action. What kind of action, Valorie? Well, wands. Wands is fire energy. Whoop, whoop. Of course, we would have fire energy on the Monday after an eclipse. Fire energy is exactly what it sounds like. What ignites you, what fires you up, what gets you going. It's inspiration, it's creativity. It's definitely that sense of inner power, that sense of what is feeding my soul, not what's going on out there, but what is inner, what is feeding my soul. So the Knight of Wands is asking you, when you ask those questions about yourself, what ignites me, what makes me want to get up in the morning, what makes me feel good, what makes me feel creative, are you doing those things? Because the Knight is saying, I need you to move into action on those things. Are you doing those things? Knight of Wands. Let's see what the book says on this one. One moment. Y'all know I can't see. Okay, here we go. Knight of Wands. Oh, we got it in reverse though. I forgot that. So we got it in reverse, which means we're not moving into action. But in order to get it upright, we need to start doing that. So the Knight of Wands in reverse is, let's see, impatience, being temperamental, frustration. Here's one. I bet this is going to resonate with a bunch of y'all. Knowing your desire and feeling blocked from taking action. Anybody been feeling that? I know what I want. I just feel like I can't get there. These lizard brains of ours can really hold us back, especially when we are stuck in fear or doubt. And they can have us scurrying in the opposite direction of our desires if we are responding rationally or running on autopilot. This night can show you how to act on your spontaneity while ensuring that you are moving towards that which lights you up. For she is a creature of creative freedom, restlessness, and sacred ecstatic dance. And she asks you to step into enthusiastic being with her. Act impulsively when your heart says, yes, this is for my highest good. There is no need to observe and wait when your dreams are right in front of you. Charge ahead into the life-giving projects or epic changes in your life. Epic changes in your life. Perfect time for that. If you've been thinking, when should I make this change? Or if you've been putting something on the back burner, chaos energy, perfect time for that. With caution, be aware. Let's see. Epic changes in your life. As taking a risk just for the adventure of it all will pay you back in spades at this time, even if that payback comes in the form of experience and memories. Know that your evolution comes from these bursts of energy, and life is too short to sit on the sidelines. Allow your spirited energy to lead. I love that. Lizard conversations. I guess these are questions you can ask yourself. What is your relationship with patience and impulsivity? I have no relationship with patience, and impulsivity is how I live my life. That's how I'm going to answer those. Are you so impatient that you miss the details? Ooh. Or are you patiently watching what you want from a distance and waiting for so long that you miss your chance? How do you fluctuate between these two things, patience and impulsivity? And what are your cues to enthusiastically jump in and run? What are your cues? When do you know it's time to take the leap? When do you know it's time to not think it through and it's time to move with spontaneity or move on an impulse without having all of the steps in place, without having a clear plan? Virgos, I'm talking to you. Yes, I know it's your season. I know y'all are activated right now, but the moving on impulsivity, moving in a spontaneous way, very much Sag energy. But that is what is being encouraged at this time. But when do you do it in a way that feels safe for you? Because we're not talking about jumping off a cliff with no idea and no plan. We are talking about having trust in place, having faith in place, knowing your supports are waiting down wherever you're going to land, and then knowing, okay, this feels like a time for me to jump. When do you feel that? Ask yourself those questions and then ask yourself, is there anything in your life giving you that impulse to jump that you keep saying no to? Because Spirit is saying now is a great time to say yes. I got you. The universe has got you. What? Chaos is a great time to create. What have you been looking to create? Wands is creative energy. What have you been looking to create that you've been telling yourself, no, not yet. I don't know enough. I don't have enough money to put this project together. I don't have enough people. Now is a good time to at least take the first step on any of those creative pursuits. And what happens when you do? The clouds part and all of your wishes are granted? Probably not, because the next card is the Tower, which means all of those things that you have told yourself, I can't, before you moved into action, when you finally decide to trust yourself and to trust Spirit and move into action, there's probably going to be a lot of nonsense, a lot of bullshit, a lot of things you thought you needed, but you didn't really need falling out of your life. And so this Tower card is representing that. When I make this move that I've been keeping myself from making, but I finally decide to make this move, Knight of Wands energy, and then all of a sudden it feels like things in my life start to crumble. That's when I want you to celebrate. When things in your life start to crumble and fall away, and you start to say to yourself, what the hell? I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I thought I was following my passion. When things start looking like they're crumbling and breaking, that's the moment I want you to celebrate. That's the moment I want you to say, Spirit is taking away the things that I no longer need, the things that I thought I needed. But once I moved into action, Spirit led action, now Spirit is showing me the things that I actually do not need. And a lot of those things, I'm going to go back to that Oracle card, are ego-based demons. The Tower card in traditional tarot has an actual depiction of someone's ego falling from the tower. There's a strike of lightning representing divine inspiration or divine enlightenment, something shifting in your understanding of self. And there's an actual depiction of your own inner ego falling from the tower. Our ego falling is not a bad thing when it is our ego that's been holding us back. Our ego serves many purposes. I long ago stopped villainizing my ego, but I also recognized when my ego is holding me back instead of supporting me. And this feels like Spirit is pointing us towards examining a little bit more closely. When is our ego helping us and when is our ego holding us back? And with all of these messages coming in, it feels as if Spirit is saying, I really need y'all to slow down and look at your ego because it's holding you back in ways that you're probably unaware of. You're not just going to jump to this, though. This is Spirit coming and whispering in my ear. We're not just going to jump to this. Oh, I know exactly what my ego's doing. I'm about to dismantle it right now. We're not just going to jump in at the Tower card. It's very, very important that we had this Knight of Wands first, and it was in reversal, which means some of you are going to want to jump in right to the Tower card. But Spirit is saying, I need you to slow down. I need you to turn this card upright, which means I need you to slow down enough to figure out what is moving me forward. Act on that first, because the things that you are consciously aware of that your ego is doing are not the things that Spirit wants us to focus on. Spirit wants us to focus on letting go of those things that come up after we make this move. Those things that are not going to be evident to us until we start moving in alignment and acting on our passion. Then we're going to have this moment of lightning strike enlightenment that comes through that says, holy shit, all of this time, all I had to do was do XYZ. And now I'm finally realizing it was this little thing that was holding me back. Oh, I'm ready to do this and let go of this. It's kind of a twofold approach for this week. Moving
Is
into
that the,
action, seeing what's coming up that is ready to be released.
I was just going to
Not one
ask
or
you,
the other.
Valerie, is that the ego at the bottom of the card, that little
Oh, I
person?
didn't even notice that. I think so. I didn't even notice that was a little person. That is the depict. That is a another depiction from the traditional tarot card. In traditional tarot, there's a robed figure that's wearing a crown, and the crown is meant to portray someone's ego, but it is. Yeah, I'm not even going to go to the book on this one because I don't know what is that? What
That animal? It's a lemur, isn't it?
a lemur? Is that what that is?
That is a lemur.
Well,
Lemurian. Lemur.
there you go. Okay. So we've got all of that happening. Feels very chaotic, but also feels very blessed. It feels like we're going to move into a clearing away, which is going to feel really good. And then what? All within a week, Empress energy. You know what the first thing I noticed? Well, the first thing I noticed was she's fucking weird. But the second thing I noticed was the butterflies. Transformation. Transformation. Of course, we would have transformation after moving into action, after the falling away, the clearing away caused by the tower. Of course, we would transform. That's like a natural, you can't get around this week. So, this week, uh, make sure you are strapped in and that you are completely buckled in. Throw your arms up if you want and scream on the ride, but it's going to be quite a ride this week. But we land in this Empress energy. And the Empress energy is the earthly mother figure. She's in tune with nature and she is a manifester. She is a powerful manifester and an empress. And we've got all of those butterflies showing transformation. She's the one that sits back in complete calm, cool, collected. She does not worry about manifesting. She doesn't, she probably did when she was younger, but she doesn't have that angst that we talked about earlier. I know what my desires are and I just feel like I can't get there. She doesn't have that. She has I know what my desires are and I know how to bring them about. I know if it's going to take work. I know if it's going to take action. I know if it's going to take magic. I just know and I trust that whatever I need and whatever I desire is going to manifest to me. She also does not worry about timing. Now, I'm human. I don't know how to get there yet, but she very much has that energy and is willing to offer you that energy if you feel like you need any of the energy that I just described. That is why she is showing up in our reading today to say, let me show you how I manifest. And let me offer you some of this energy. This is spirit, your guides, the divine saying, you do the first two steps, and this is what I've got waiting for you. I will show you how to manifest. I will show you how to get to those desires that feel stuck. I will show you the true meaning of abundance. She is also an excellent archetype for abundance. I'm going to go to the book and see how Chris Ann describes her. Chris Ann is also the author of one of my other favorite tarots, the Light Seers Tarot. So if you are a fan of the Light Seers Tarot, you might also be a fan of this one. And this is the Empress. Let's see what she says about this one. What else can we learn from this lady? Did I do with my glasses that fast? Okay. Success. A consistent and calm leader. These are the keywords. Strategic plans in motion. Confidence and ambition. Leading your people with love and compassion. Structure, sovereignty, being assertive. Structure for the Virgo babies. I know it's Virgo season. There you go. There you go. Spirit's throwing you a bone with the Emperor. Oh, I'm reading the Emperor. Hold on. The Empress. I'm on the wrong page. The Empress. So that was the divine masculine. The Empress is Gaia, fertility, conception and birth, nature, creation. Um, Chaos is the birthplace of creation. I know y'all have heard me say that a million times. That's also why I love chaos energy, because I know that I know that I know something good is going to be created. So chaos is the birthplace of creation. And then we have the Empress coming in with creation energy, connection, family, unconditional love, empathy, pleasure, bountiful creativity, abundance, material wealth, romance, passion, success, and luxury. The Empress has an unbreakable bond with the life force that runs through all living things. She is creation embodied, and she is here to help you cultivate your garden of magic on earth. With her nurturing guidance and unconditional acceptance, she reminds you to connect deeply with your sensuality and with your lust for life. Nourish your family and loved ones with healing light. Connect deeply with your fur baby familiars, your kindreds, and the natural evolution that is unfolding all around you. This will, in turn, reap a more bountiful harvest than you'll ever need. Let me read that again. You do all of those things, and you will reap a more bountiful harvest than you'll ever need. I told y'all she's the mother of abundance. She is here to teach you what abundance really means, and I guarantee you it is beyond the human concept of what we currently think of as abundance. It is the divine's version of what abundance means, and she's here to teach you a little bit about that. When you lead with compassion, your own expansive abundance and spiraling creativity will continuously evolve. Write, paint, create a nest you love to live in. Be proud as a peacock when it comes to your creations. That's that Knight of Wands energy too. Knight of Wands, action on inspiration and creativity. The Empress is how it all comes together and manifests into what you've been asking for. Let's see, what else does she said? It's time to cultivate lushness while focusing on the life and the vitality that expands in your presence. You are a sacred part of nature, so lean into your wholeness while also embracing that you are one small fragment of nature's greater plan. Here's some peacock conversations, questions to ask yourself. How are you cultivating your creativity? And when do you feel unconditional love? Do you feel unconditional love towards yourself or only towards others? That was my question. That was Spirit's question. Let me not say my question. That was Spirit. What if the main point of everything is to contribute to our evolution, to expand and continually recreate ourselves into more complex and beautiful patterns? Now, think about that. What if you came here simply to expand and continuously recreate ourselves into more complex and beautiful patterns? Think about what that would entail. Can you view your entire life through a different lens in this moment? Just try for a minute and ask yourself, if I needed to expand into a more complex version of myself, what would that require? I bet it would require every shit pile that you have cursed your entire life is exactly the fertilizer that you needed to create and re-evolve into a more complex, beautiful pattern of yourself and continuously recreating. That idea of, I'm so tired, I just did this. What if we can embrace that like a good workout? Like, man, look what I created. Yeah, I'm tired. Let me rest up and then get at it again because this is a continual recreation. How are you moving towards the divine? Is the last question. Ooh, I'm loving this read today. Anybody else feeling this read? I'm feeling it. Okay, so that was the tarot. The first card was the Knight of Wands. So it wasn't really a number. It was a little stick to represent wands. So the Knight of Wands. And then the other two were numbered because the other two are major arcana, which I didn't go into my spiel about major arcana, 3 and 16, but major arcana represent things and themes that will affect all areas of our life, not just the day-to-day. What do I need to do right now? So be looking for some big shifts. Shift happens. We love it. What do I want to go to next? That idea of the first oracle card, the divine feminine card that talked about bringing our ego into the light, finding the light in the darkness. I'm going to go to, let me get the cover, White Light Oracle by Alana Fairchild. White Light Oracle. Let's see what this deck, look at the back of these cards. They're just lovely. I might have to get this deck. I don't have this deck. I might have to get this deck. I really like the, I love Alana Fairchild. I've never had an Alana Fairchild deck that I didn't love, so. And that's saying quite a lot because several authors, like I like one or two of their decks, but not all of their decks. I have loved every single one of Alana Fairchild's decks that I've had, that I've read from. So let's see. White Light Oracle. What message do we need today, Spirit, from this deck? Let me slow down. Feels like that one. Card number 17, 528, Mandala of the Heart. Sounds like a solfeggio tone. 528. Write that down, search it on YouTube, pull up that music, play it. Feel like maybe that's what Spirit's telling us. The Mandala of the Heart. I believe these are like keywords. This is the italicized version. Sometimes aspects of our life fall apart or don't go to plan. Let me just show you. Sometimes aspects of our life, that Tower card, fall apart. So I feel like If there are two or more cards with almost the same message in these decks, y'all, Spirit is helping me pull these cards, and they're decks that I'm not used to. So there's no way, other than Spirit having a play in this reading, that we have two cards with very similar messages out of all of the cards in all of the decks. So when that happens, especially when it's something like a Tower card, Spirit is saying, I'm telling you this ahead of time so that you can prepare yourself, so that when these things happen, which you might view negatively if that is your habit, so that you don't. So that you find a way to look at what is happening in your life under a positive lens, or at the very least, you ask yourself, with all of this crap going on, how can I still benefit? At the very least, that's what Spirit wants you to come out with. So, Spirit is not saying this is going to be an easy week. Spirit is saying, I'm telling you ahead of time, it might be a little bit rough, but it's going to be good on the other side. So let me prepare you. Sometimes aspects of our life fall apart or don't go to plan. This is so that they can come back together in a beautiful new way. Trust in the goodness and the inevitable blessing of your destiny falling into place. Do not trust your fears. Put your faith in the love of your heart. A heartfelt wish is going to manifest. Isn't that a good foretelling for those of us who resonated and raised their hands and said, I know my desire, I feel like I can't get there? Now, Spirit is coming back with, make your way through this week, hold the faith, follow your inspiration, do the things I've told you, and a heartfelt wish is going to manifest. Heartfelt being the key word, not something you've been thinking about. Heartfelt. What is your emotion attached to? And does that emotion feel like fear or feel like love? Because it didn't say a heartfelt, beautiful, lovely, rainbow colored wish. It says a heartfelt wish. So if you are holding fear in your heart, look forward to that manifesting this week. If you are holding love in your heart, or if you can switch to love or cultivate more love, look forward to that manifesting this week. The mandala of the heart is the expression of the divine feminine power within. It is the life-changing experience of love, healing, compassion, deep repair, and restoration that can only happen when we feel safe and loved enough to truly let go. Despite what the wounded opinions of ego might have one believe, there's the ego theme again. Love is the most powerful consciousness on the planet. It is also highly intelligent. As we open to heal with the frequency of love in our hearts, we naturally evoke positive effects in the lives of others too. We attract positive intervention from spirit. Pathways open up and magic happens. Love is the path to the transformational, the alchemical, and the miraculous. It is the means by which negative patterns are reversed and the original purity and beauty of our innate spiritual perfection can manifest itself in all dimensions, including the physical. We may feel we are bumbling along, yet we are blessed with an invisible, powerful field of grace moving with us, ensuring that our actions yield the best outcomes and that we attract what we truly want and need. The heart has access to a wisdom more powerful than logic, which can overcome any obstacle. The heart, when we tune into it, align with it, listen to it, has access to a wisdom more powerful than logic, which can do what? Overcome any obstacle. That's some powerful shit. I hope y'all sit with that statement because I'm going to sit with that statement. Overcome any obstacle. To enter into that wisdom, we have to trust in something greater than our own opinions and our own allegiance to history, to our history. Our own allegiance to our history. What that sounds like is every time the universe says, what do you want? And you say, I would like a pink Lambo with black leather interior in my driveway by tomorrow morning. And then the universe says, done. But you don't hear that because you start telling the universe how much it's going to cost and how much money you need in your bank account and how much insurance is going to cost and how your driveway doesn't has the old beater sitting in it and how you have to get you start telling the universe and you start blocking the universe. Why? Because you have an allegiance to your history that has told you how it has always happened before. Your brain is not meant to decide how it's going to happen. Your brain can only conjure up and give you context about how it has happened before, how it has happened for your neighbors, how it has happened for humans, how it has happened for collective consciousness. All of those come into your brain and say, you can't have a Lambo by tomorrow morning. That's impossible. Everything. Everything is possible to the universe. It's only impossible when we get in the way. Your heart is more connected to the universal heart. It is a holographic emanation, part of the sacred mandala of the divine feminine heart, and as such, holds divine genius and power. It wants to manifest that which is evolving, new, inspired, and beautiful. To believe that history must repeat itself or that what we imagine is the limit of what can happen is to deny the power of the heart and the generosity of divine grace. How many of y'all out there denying divinity? All of us, because we're human. All of us, me, I'm raising my hand really, really high. Um, but this reading, this card is coming to us to shed some light on some of the ways that we might be denying divinity so that we can at least lessen it if we can't eradicate it completely. At least lessen it, at least identify it, at least label it so that every time we pass by it again, it's like, yep, I know what I'm doing. I see that spirit. I'll work on it. At least label it. Let's see, where was I at? We need radical lovers and inspired dreamers who dare to invite in the most outlandishly blessed interventions of the universal heart for all beings. You have it within your heart to be one of those prayer alchemists for humanity. You, all of you right now, listening to this recording, watching this in this room, you have it within your heart to become an alchemist for all of humanity. How do I do that, Valorie? I'm still working on the Lambo in my driveway, Valorie. How do I do that? You do it by still working on the Lambo in your driveway. You do it by holding the faith. You do it by continuing to find and identify anything that's holding you back from your greatness and moving towards removing it. That's how you do it. Because as soon as you start doing it, those that are watching you feel more empowered, feel like they can do it too. And when we collectively all start doing it, whoo, watch out. 528 hertz is the love frequency of creation. The choices, decisions, and projects inspired by love have countless and far-reaching positive effects. I'm going back to that Knight of Wands. Action, action, action. What is your heart calling you to do? The choices, decisions, and projects inspired by love have countless and far-reaching positive effects. As we tune into that inner frequency, we connect to all hearts in a powerful alchemical network which delivers an infusion of divine protection and uplifting wisdom into the human collective. Priestesses, sound alchemists, and heart healers work with these frequencies, understanding their capacity to evoke the alchemical and the miraculous. These are our spiritual brothers and sisters, cultivating and radiating the consciousness of love, that soothing and courage-inducing medicine of the soul. In a reading, this oracle affirms that honoring deep soul bonds and sharing healing with your soul tribe is an important facet of your purpose. You have the power of love in your heart. It is the healing spiritual glue that can bring people together for a higher purpose. It inspires others and generates positive energy to lighten the emotional load many souls carry. When 528 megahertz mandala of the heart appears in your reading, you are being put on notice that the divine feminine has a vision for your soul and is organizing events accordingly. She will guide you through your heart, and with her protection, the manifestation of your soul path is assured. Ooh, I love that. Love that so much. Okay, there is a healing process that I will not go into reading. I love her healing processes because they're like little rituals, little things that you can do on your own. I'm going to offer you an easier one. Sit with the messages that you received today. If you need to hear this card read back, go to my YouTube channel and fast forward to the part where I'm holding up this card. But also, while you're on YouTube, search 528 hertz solfeggio tones. Find some music, play it in the background, put your headphones on, don't put your headphones on, play it today, activate your week, listen to what it says, feel into your heart energy. You don't have to sit in meditation with it. You can put it on while you're washing dishes or while you're on your laptop. But I strongly encourage you to spend some time with that message. I feel like that was quite powerful. Okay, so that was that. Let's see, we got about 10 minutes left. I really want to go to this deck just because I'm about to go to the gem and mineral show. And this is a crystal deck. So let's see. Spirit, are there any crystals that would be good for us to work with? The energy of these crystals. Okay, so even if you don't have this crystal, you can still call in the energy just like we call in the energy of the moon, even though the moon is not sitting in our kitchen. So you can still call in the energy of this crystal. Should I go with the one on the top of the deck? No, I'm not going to go with that one. Let's see. Spirit, which ones? Which messages do you have for us? That one. Tiger. Is that Tiger Eye? It is Tiger Eye. Well, that's interesting. Okay, the one I first pulled was Opal. That one just I kind of looked at it and so I pulled it because I plan on finding some opal at the Gem and Mineral show. But the Tiger Eye is the one that I pulled. I love that. You got Tiger Eye on right now. I see that. Tiger Eye is the one I pulled for the collective. Also one of my favorite gemstones. And this one says what it is. Tiger Eye is a gold brown quartz displaying a light reflecting optical phenomenon known as cat chatoyance or cat's eye that appears just below the stone surface. Who needs it? The currently overthinking and mood swinging Geminis and Virgos. And we happen to be in Virgo season. So all of us need it because even if you're not Virgo, we're in Virgo season and we have those energies prevalent around us. Overthinking, mood swinging, because I don't know if y'all have noticed it, but this energy we're in is very much mood swinging, very much roller coaster. So we all need Tiger's Eye. Where to put it? Okay, my mind went somewhere. Don't put it there. Where to put it? In a string of prayer beads, hanging from your middle finger, counted during meditation, along with your blessings. Hanging from your middle finger. I don't know why it says hanging. I guess if you had a string of prayer beads, you would hang it from your middle finger. I would just wear it as a ring on my middle finger. I do make metaphysical jewelry, just for those of y'all that don't know. Shameless self plug, Four Hearts Jewelry, and I do have Tiger's Eye. Um, let's see, when to use it. When your thoughts are not your friends. I can pretty much guarantee we are all going to encounter some of those thoughts this week, this season, this month, because of what is going on collectively. Grab you some Tiger's Eye or even call in the energy of Tiger's Eye. And Tiger's Eye, for those of y'all that might not know crystals, very inexpensive. Almost in every gem, mineral, rock bin, you can find it in the little bins that you grab a crystal from. Tiger Eye is very prevalent and very inexpensive. So grab you some Tiger Eye. If you can't get to it, just sit and call in the energy of this crystal. When your thoughts are not your friends, when reading Jungian theories or attempting to decipher a Zen Cohen. I have no idea what that means. When you're all roar and not enough purr. When only equanimity of mind, body, spirit, left brain, and right brain. can get you square with the universe when you need balance, basically, is what you know. Balance your whole being is the key phrase there. Tiger eye is also good for grounding. So if you are very much feeling these chaos energies, tiger eye is very much a grounding stone. Tiger eye is also known to bring success. Um, That's what I equate it to. I use tiger eye and smoky quartz for business success, for those manifested, practical, kind of tangible things that I need to bring success to. So it's also very good for that. And it makes sense with that Empress energy that we had earlier, because that's grounded, nurturing, manifested, real life, tangible stuff. So all of that makes perfect sense. I'm glad I went to that deck. Maybe I'll grab some more, some more. I've got quite a bit of tiger eye. Maybe I'll grab some more tiger eye today. But there we go. All right. We are going to do a couple of one card reads here real quickly. I think I am going to go to Lightseers Tarot. Please put it over in chat if you would like to receive a one card read. And then I'll probably do maybe just one or two of these really quick, and then we will move into our activation, which I can already tell y'all is going to be about settling into these energies and benefiting from these energies, especially during those tower moments. All right, let's see. Who do we have going on over here? Delvin. Dalvin, last name P. This card is for you. Five of Wands. Does not surprise me one bit that we pulled a five for this week. Five of Wands. Fives represent conflict and opportunity. Where are you in this whole situation? Are you the person down here swinging and hanging on for dear life in the midst of a conflict? Are you the person up here who's kind of overcome and is reaching for the light in the midst of an opportunity? Five of Wands, and interestingly, fittingly enough, that it's Wands. It's that personal energy, that fire energy once again. So this card coming up for you is asking you to consider, where are you? And can you, if you're in the midst of a challenge, can you flip it and see the opportunity? What is this challenge bringing to me? It's a great question to sit in meditation with, or sit with your guides with, or even sit with a tarot deck with, if you're not, you know, whatever your means of getting additional insight. How can I turn this challenge into an opportunity? Dalvin, that was for you. Maz, this card is for you. Hold on, I see it. Ah, the Emperor. Card number 4. So this is the divine counterpart of the Empress card that we pulled earlier. Divine masculine, earthly. I believe that the Fool visits two sets of parents, which, by the way, I'm teaching another tarot class. Go ahead and sign up for it. We're going over major arcana, which are all archetypes. The Emperor. The Fool visits two sets of parents. He visits his spiritual parents, and then he visits his earthly manifested parents. The Emperor is his daddy in flesh. The emperor is the one that's going to teach him about, how do you navigate this physical world? How do you manifest? Chess moves, baby, all strategic. How do you manifest? How do you get in tune with life cycles, with nature cycles, the ultimate earthly manifested divine masculine. Divine masculine is also about action. What actions do you need to take to step into that energy, or to better utilize that emperor energy? All right. Who else? I think I have time for one more, and then we'll do the activation. Bonnie. Bonnie. Let's see. What does Bonnie need to know in this moment for her week forward? Also, I am doing Tuesday Tarot. Tuesday Tarot is $25 group setting. I come on for an hour, and there are only 5 spots available, so that everyone in that group can get an individual reading. It's about 10 minutes for $25, happening every Tuesday. So yes, happening tomorrow. It's on Meetup. Go sign up for it. This one is for, who did I just say? Bonnie. Bonnie, you got King of Cups. Divine masculine again, action again. What is it asking you to move into action on? Cups, intuition. Cups, water energy, Emotions and intuition, I immediately heard it's not emotions, it's intuition for you. Follow your intuition. If you are still in that spot of, and I feel like you might be saying, I'm not sure what is my intuition and what isn't my intuition, I'm not sure how to figure it out, I'm not sure how to trust my intuition. Bonnie, if you are saying any of those things to yourself, Spirit's answer is move forward. You'll figure it out along the way. Follow your intuition. Let this week be a week for you to practice and to figure out what is intuition and what isn't intuition, um, and to figure it out along the way. But definitely with that king, divine masculine action, it's follow your intuition in an actionable way, not in a let me think about it way, but in a let me move into action and figure out what is my intuition, figure out what isn't. All right, so that's what we have there. Let's do a little bit of an activation here. I invite you to do whatever feels comfortable for you. You can do it with your eyes closed, or you can just sit and maybe think about this, but we're going to take a deep breath in. Slow exhale. We're going to open ourselves up to receive any energy that the divine would like to send to us in this moment. And we're going to picture ourselves with a glowing, warm, divinely activated ball of energy right in our heart center. See if you can feel that energy. Does it feel like warmth? Does it feel like an activation? Does it just feel comfy and cozy? And now allow that energy to kind of jumpstart your heart. Feel your heart expanding in this moment. Feel your heart moving, that energy moving throughout your entire physical and auric body. And once you feel as if your heart is activated, glowing with that divine energy, I want you to ask your heart, tell your heart, I'm listening. I'm listening to you. I'm ready. Where you lead, I will follow. What do we need to move into action on this week? Just listen for that answer. It might come as a thought, a feeling, a knowing. And know that you can come back to this space and have a longer discussion with your heart if you need to. Thank your heart for opening up, for sharing with you. Go ahead and take another deep breath. Come back to this room. Raise your hand and say, I solemnly swear to follow my heart this day, this week, because I know it's going to lead me through this chaos in a good way. All right. Thank you all so much. This has been a great reading, great energy. Thank you all for participating. I hope to see you back next week. And make sure you take all of these messages and don't let them just sit in your head. Let them drop into your heart. This is meant to help you manifest your life. So go out there and be some magical manifestors. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.